Twinkle, twinkle, little star is born, the conundrum of fun. Following the little Lee Horesalot on the Brimbeam incident and the subsequent large-scale and seemingly completely random incontinence, Cynthia tried to retire from her Brimbeam crystalline beam encapsulator magnetophone duties. In fact, she even considered leaving the Crystal Passion shop entirely. She had a good base of loyal customers for her psychic services. She did not need constraint, mishaps, or the terrible embarrassment of these massive outflows of urine. Exactly, or seemingly exactly, as her beloved Maiden of Flute has been detained indefinitely in a psychiatric facility for. The piss utter. Cynthia was certain the bird dog beast, the continence problem, and whatever that strange thing that went on with Joni's sister on the Brimbeam were related. But how? Cynthia had to massively increase both her white wine and cigarette consumption to better ponder what the crystal spirit world was trying to convey to her, or more frighteningly, had done to her. In fact, Cynthia tried her absolute best to escape Wendy and her Brimbeam crystalline beam encapsulator magnetophone, parental power of attorney, Crystal Passion shop contract, and what seemed to be the fate associated with it. Thankfully, Wendy and her rather astute legal team, who happens to be her law professor brother and corporate law shark best friend, who happens to be her childhood sweetheart, who evolved into her lifelong husband and the love of her life. A sweet story, actually. Wendy and her husband have been an exclusive couple since she was 12 years old and gave him his first kiss for his 11th birthday gift. Anyway, Wendy's astute legal team hatched out quite the plan to devise an absolutely inescapable contract completely in Wendy's favor. Following the discovery of what the Brimbeam crystalline beam encapsulator magnetophone could bring the Crystal Passion shop in terms of revenue, what the unit cost, and the possibility to dupe a flake of a new age crystal spirit channeler friend of Wendy's to obtain it, along with guaranteed long-term staffing of it. A true work of corporate civil constitutional code of ethics contract law art, and the very contract to place Wendy's brother and her husband at the top of their respective legal fields. Beautiful work, not just nice work. The point of all of this is that for the duration of the lives of both of her parents, Cynthia must adhere to the contract. If she does not, the parents lose their home, do not qualify for bankruptcy, incur a hefty back and forward amortized annual compound interest debt to the federal tax agency on the unit and revenue, and are excluded from any form of governmental transfer or pension due to the 100% garnishment resulting from the tax debt. The most fun feature of this terrible contract is that Cynthia's father is of a reduced mental capacity and blessed with exceeding natural physical capacity. His only focus in life is his physical health due to his reduced mental capacity. He is a slightly famous medical anomaly with a projected lifespan of 125 years, as recorded by Popular Science magazine in 1981. A slightly famous medical anomaly that has been featured in many space magazines over the decades. A slightly famous medical anomaly that trained to become an astronaut, but was turned down due to reduced mental capacity and never let his physical conditioning or health slide. The source of his slight fame. NASA watchers tend to be slightly obsessed with the man. Anyway, the gentleman in question was an orphan grade 9 special needs student when Cynthia's sexual predator mother got him drunk, raped him, and was subsequently impregnated with Cynthia. Cynthia's mother's only way of escaping a prison sentence was to both take him on as a ward while he was a minor and marry him after his 18th birthday. She did both of these things. Therefore, Cynthia's father is less than 16 years older than Cynthia. Barring freak occurrence or accidental death, he will certainly outlive her. Yes. Since Cynthia was born on March the 6th, 1969, yes, right in the height of NASA space glory, and oh yes, and her father just had sex, then this is what happened. Yes, that he, like Buzz Aldrin, was an astronaut. Yes, he will outlive her. Yes. Simply, just as Cynthia's mother haggard herself down to early dementia and began to have a hard time spelling her own name, though below the age of 65, currently an erratic, clueless alcoholic, sometimes catonic, sometimes walking the streets trying to fondle young men. Yes. Cynthia is following in her mother's footsteps. At age 40, Cynthia was certainly biologically at least 45 or 50, and her lifestyle is more destructive now than then, plus the installation of the piss under. The point of all of this is that after the botched little Lee Horace on the Brim Beam zap and massive loss of continence, Cynthia thought she could retire from brim beaming people and quit her job. She failed with epic proportion. Wendy's astute legal team flew into action. Cynthia was served a notice, and bang! Wendy went on to insist that Cynthia did not just wear diapers, that a catheter was required while she was on Crystal Passion shop property. Cynthia's second floor of a strip mall lawyer got it in front of a judge only to lose completely and still bill Cynthia for her services. It was found within the first week of Cynthia's return and catheter attempt that the catheter was a failure. Wendy had to do a fairly inexpensive leasehold improvement within the Crystal Passion shop. Cynthia required a sterile urine disposal tube attached to her and plumbed into the business's sewage drain. Foilesa does seem to enjoy frequently firing that particular piss udder off. Oh well. It was not a very expensive leasehold improvement. Certainly, the brim beam would pay off the unexpected plumbing expense within a month, less if Cynthia's brim beam operational capacity could be increased. This was done by having the same contractor install a specific smoking room ventilation in the brim beam room, thus eliminating Cynthia's many cigarette breaks. It should be noted that Wendy's desired renovational outcomes were achieved. Cynthia remained in the brim beam room for a solid 10 straight hours every day but Sunday. The embarrassment of the piss udder issue kept her glued to her workstation, only requiring French fries brought to her and the odd box of chocolates. Interestingly, just as the leasehold improvement construction was being completed on the brim beam room, Wendy had begun taking bookings again, and little Lee Horesalot wandered into the Crystal Passion shop. Yes, little Lee both purchased all of the little star crystals and booked another zap on the brim beam on this visit, all with a bizarre smile on her face and glazed look in her eye while doing it. Strange. Yes. Yeah.